He didn't know who she was. He didn't care. But when the security guard slammed his boot near the tiny white dog, the little girl's scream tore through the mall, a sound so raw, it made strangers freeze mid-step. And across the street, a group of bikers lifted their heads. They heard it too. Because real men, the kind who've seen war, know a cry for help when they hear one. It was supposed to be a quiet afternoon at the Bayshore Plaza, the kind of luxury mall where sunlight hits marble floors and everything smells like new money. 8-year-old Ella Thompson skipped beside her family's driver, holding the leash of her Pomeranian, Buddy, her father's early birthday gift. Her father, David Thompson, was a former Marine turned billionaire developer, respected, feared, and mostly absent. Buddy slipped through the automatic doors before Ella could grab him. The guard, a heavy-set man named Miller, frowned as the tiny dog scampered past the velvet rope. "Hey! No animals inside," he barked, stepping forward. "He's my dog!" Ella cried, running after him. Before anyone could stop him, Miller grabbed the leash roughly and yanked Buddy back. The dog yelped, a sharp, terrified sound that echoed off the glass walls. "Stop it! You're hurting him!" Ella shouted, tears welling up. Miller rolled his eyes. "Control your pet or get out." He didn't see the fear in the child's eyes. He didn't notice her trembling hands. He just saw a kid, not the daughter of the man who built the very building he stood in. When Buddy whimpered again, Ella lost it. She screamed so loud the sound escaped the mall doors and spilled into the street outside. And that's when they heard it. Across the road, 6 men sat outside a roadside diner, leather vests glinting under the afternoon sun. They were veterans, soldiers once, now brothers of the road. Their leader, Jack Turner, a calm, broad-shouldered man in his 40s with quiet gray eyes, looked up first. "That sounded like a kid," he muttered, setting his coffee down. "Probably another tantrum," joked one of the younger riders. But Jack's instincts didn't laugh. "No," he said softly. "That was fear." Within seconds, he was on his feet, crossing the street with 2 of his men. Inside the mall, chaos had begun to build. Ella sobbed as Miller yanked Buddy's leash again, shouting about rules. "Let him go," she begged. When Jack stepped through the doors, everything stilled. The guard froze, glaring. "You can't bring motorcycles in here," he said automatically. Jack's tone was quiet, dangerous in its calm. "That little girl asked you to stop. You didn't. So now I'm asking." "Back off, pal," Miller sneered. "This isn't your business." Jack took a slow step forward. His boots echoed across the marble floor like gunfire. "It became my business the moment you hurt something defenseless." The tension was electric. Jack's fellow rider, Cole Harris, a former medic, moved to the girl's side, crouching to check the dog. "He's breathing fast but he'll be okay," he whispered. Ella's small hand clutched his vest. "Please don't let him take Buddy again." Cole smiled gently. "Not a chance, sweetheart." Miller tried to shove Jack aside, and that was his mistake. Jack's hand moved faster than anyone could see. A simple twist of the wrist, a veteran's move, not violent, just controlled. Miller gasped, pinned but unharmed. "Walk away," Jack said evenly. "That's the best advice you'll get today." Someone had already called mall security, but before backup arrived, flashing red and blue lights painted the glass walls. "Police." When the officers stepped inside, Miller was still fuming. "They assaulted me." Jack stood back, hands up. "We stopped a man from choking a child's dog." A dozen phones were filming now. The truth was visible everywhere, the frightened girl, the bruised dog, the crowd whispering. The older cop turned to Ella. "Is that true, honey?" She nodded, clutching Buddy. "He hurt my dog." "Sir," the officer said to Miller, "turn around." "Hands behind your back." "You're arresting me?" "For animal cruelty and assault on a minor witness." "Yes." The handcuffs clicked. The mall erupted in murmurs. A few clapped. The guard's arrogance crumbled as they let him out through the same doors he once guarded. Ella looked up at Jack with wide, tear-filled eyes. You're like my daddy, she whispered. He was a soldier too. Jack smiled faintly. Then your daddy taught you to be brave. By the time David Thompson arrived, the story had already hit social media. The video of the biker defending his daughter had gone viral within the hour. He rushed through the crowd, his security detail trailing behind, until he saw Ella sitting on a bench outside, Buddy curled safely in her lap, Jack kneeling beside her. "Daddy," she cried. He dropped to his knees, hugging her tight. "Are you okay? Did he hurt you?" "No, Daddy. The biker saved us." Jack stood, offering his hand. "She's safe. That's what matters." David's eyes narrowed slightly. "You were a Marine?" 15 years, Jack said. "Afghanistan. Iraq. A few places that don't make postcards." David nodded slowly, respect softening his expression. "Then I owe a fellow soldier my thanks." Jack shook his head. "You don't owe me anything, sir. Just teach her what you already know, that kindness is the only real power." That line struck him harder than any salute. Before they left, Ella tugged on Jack's sleeve. "Can I give you something?" She handed him her small pink hairband. "For luck, so you don't forget me." Jack chuckled softly. "Sweetheart, I don't forget brave people." That night, David Thompson called a press conference. The footage played on every major network, a uniformed guard shoving a child, a biker stepping between them. But the clip that went most viral wasn't the arrest, it was Jack's quiet words to the police. "Real strength isn't in power. It's in protection." The next day, a black SUV pulled into the small mechanic shop where Jack and his crew worked. David stepped out, carrying an envelope. "Mr. Turner," he said, handing it over. "It's not payment. It's gratitude." Jack opened it to find a donation slip, $2 million to the Veterans Healing Network, signed under his name. He exhaled softly. "You didn't have to." "I did," David said. "You reminded my daughter what real men look like." Jack smiled. "Then we're even." Weeks passed. Life returned to quiet. But one evening, as the sun sank low, a small card arrived at the biker clubhouse, drawn in colored pencil. It was from Ella. A stick figure of her, Buddy, and a tall man in a leather vest standing beside a motorcycle. Underneath, in wobbly handwriting, it said, "My hero wears boots, not a cape." Jack pinned it to the wall, right beside the flag from his unit. Cole walked past, grinning. "Didn't think a dog rescue would make us famous." Jack smiled quietly. "We're not famous. We're just men who showed up." Later that night, as they rode along the highway, the wind roaring past them like freedom itself, Jack glanced up at the sky and thought of every soldier who never made it home and every child who still believed heroes exist. He touched the hairband around his wrist and whispered, "Still here, kid." And as the city lights faded behind them, the world seemed a little softer. Because sometimes the toughest hearts carry the gentlest hands.